Hello and welcome to our group project for the Critical Literacies Workshop number 1. My name is Kale and I'm going to be going over the overview and description. Critical Literacies Advancement Model, or CLAM, that is mentioned in the reading from Robinson is a model that illustrates the process of taking critical theory and creating positive social change. The CLAM model, using the steps illustrated as the literacy categories to the sample literacies to practical literacy skill and informed decisions, behaviors, and actions that create positive social change. Psychosocial and environmental literacies have specific sample literacies within itself that include health literacy, emotional literacy, food literacy, financial, ethical, and moral literacy, civic literacy, and environmental literacy. The literacy emphasizes that these sample literacies as the necessary for creating positive social change. Sample literacies within psychosocial and environmental literacies. Health literacy, being able to understand and take care of your physical and mental health. Emotional literacy, the ability to recognize, understand, and manage your own emotions. Food literacy, knowing how to make informed choices about food and all-around nutrition. Financial literacy, understanding how to manage money, including budgeting, saving, and investing. Ethical and moral literacy, the ability to critically and make decisions based on what's right and fair. Civic literacy, to understand civic responsibilities, political systems, and the rights and duties of citizenship. Environmental literacy, understanding how the natural world works and our actions impact it. In conclusion, psychosocial and environmental literacies are key to creating positive social change because it covers all the main factors of everyday life to maintain a healthy lifestyle in all areas of life. You will benefit tremendously by using these skills and applying them after learning in the psychosocial and environmental literacy.
Hi, my name is Tamika Washington, and for my portion of the presentation, I will discuss the introduction, purpose of the workshop, learning outcomes, sources, and theories and concepts. The advancement of critical literacy skills has promoted positive social change, and the development of the Critical Literacies Advancement Model, or CLAM, has aided in that social change. This workshop will specifically discuss the psychosocial and environmental literacies and their impact on adult education. The purpose of this workshop is to discuss the relevance and importance of psychosocial and environmental literacies on adult education. We will look at health, emotional, food, financial, ethics and moral, civic, and environmental literacies. We will also aim to promote understanding of the literacies and encourage the application of the literacies in adult education. Throughout this workshop, our aim is to have our participants develop an understanding of the components of psychosocial and environmental literacies. We will explore the impact, promote the use of, and facilitate the development of psychosocial and environmental literacies in adult education. Our overall aim is to have our participants understand how to successfully apply psychosocial and environmental literacies to adult education. The sources used to gain information helpful for this workshop include the CDC, or Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, positivepsychology.com, the National Institutes of Health, Forbes.com, and the Department of Education. While there are many theories based on critical literacy, a few that we used to influence this workshop include the social cognitive theory, which based individual behaviors on environmental factors, the behavior of others, and their personal behaviors. Social cultural theory, which base an individual's learning and development on their social interactions and culture, and the ecological system theory. This states that individuals' developments are based on environmental influences and social interactions as well as time.
In this section, we'll be talking about proposed context, giving examples of different contexts where a workshop or training for each of the literacies would be considered appropriate. So these are the circumstances that would lead up to a workshop or training being necessary. So for health literacy, the start and spread of COVID would have been perfect for a workshop discussing how to stay safe, how to stay healthy amidst all the confusion. There was a lot of confusion at the time and nobody really understood what was happening, so a workshop like this would have been perfect in any setting, any situation. Emotional literacy. People are experiencing a rise in stress, so a workshop in the workplace, school, any setting as well, would really be beneficial to those people, just discussing how to manage your stress and how to deal with those emotions in a more effective way. Food literacy. People may be experiencing low energy levels, unproductivity during the day. They would benefit from a workshop talking about how to choose healthy food options, how to make good options for yourself, and how to avoid feeling sluggish throughout the day. Next, we have financial literacy. So a great example for this one would be the amount of college students constantly entering the workforce each year. They need to learn about 401ks, IRAs, anything that may help them in the future, anything that may help them have a successful career in the long run. Things like that would be great to talk about during a workshop addressing these things and helping them learn more about their finances, personal finances, all of those things. For ethics/moral literacy, we can consider an academic advisor working in the college setting, working with college athletes in their grades. They need to go through training about the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, or FERPA, which is basically like HIPAA for the educational world. For civic literacy, the example for this one is actually currently very relevant. So a national election would be grounds for a workshop talking about the importance of voting, how to get registered, everything around voting, and the civic duty behind it would be great during times like this. Lastly, environmental literacy. So an example could be in an office setting or anything like that. If there is an increase in utilities, those may decrease after having a workshop talking about more sustainable energy options like LED lighting, water saving features, occupancy setting lighting, anything that may be helpful for both the environment and the office setting.
For this portion of the presentation, I will be covering the activities for our psychosocial and environmental literacy workshops. First, we are doing this to bring awareness and educate our HR teams on what these literacies are, and also hoping to build curiosity and innovation through these case study-like examples to bring back to the organization to help bring awareness across the entire field. This will be done quarterly at our HR town halls. This will be a series, a build-up, if you would like to think of it that way, of events to help us continue to get better in this area. So this will not just be a one-stop shop training. How is this being done and what steps are we taking? So as individuals come into our town hall, we are going to be doing team breakout sessions, whether they are in person or virtual. Within these breakout sessions, each team has been given, again, think of it like a situation or a case study related to the graph off to the right of those literacies. And these case studies are coming directly from our HR 360 survey results. So we're actually building off of, what we're hearing back from our employees and how we can get better at that. And in the next slide, I'll give an example. Each team is to present their own idea, and these ideas will be taken back based on effort and impact and prioritize for implementation. And like I said, we'll continue to build off of this in each session. Now, for the materials that are needed to make this happen, as I mentioned, we are giving a high-level overview of the literacies that we have outlined in that graph. So we'll be doing that through a PowerPoint presentation. So we'll be delivering that first to the group prior to diving into our case studies. I also mentioned the worksheet for the brainstorming. We will provide just a high-level document for them to be able to, track what they're talking through and also brainstorm as a group, as well as the essentials of extra paper and pens, laptops for external research. So are we remaining best in class as we continue to look at ways to bring awareness and help our teams? What are other organizations doing maybe that we could shamelessly steal some of their great findings? And then we will also have, whether again it's virtual or in person, we'll have dedicated trained leadership support to kind of help guide those brainstorming sessions, to be there to help the team. As I mentioned on the last slide, we are giving them a case study, a situation, and I'd like to give an example here of what that would look like, right, as it relates to the Company 360 results. So the one that we've outlined here is health literacy. So specifically, we've seen an increase in call-offs due to health-related reasons, whether that may be physical or mental. And based on the results on our 360 survey, we've had employees provide feedback that they're feeling overwhelmed and it's difficult managing their work-life balance. However, the data shows that our company wellness benefits have actually seen a drop in usage. So the task here is, what can we do to create awareness on the company benefits and those health literacy benefits of, it's not just about having a healthy diet or having a routine. There are more things available to our employees that we work really hard to get as an organization, but how can we get that information out to them so they can actually take advantage of that? So again, this is just an example of what we would go through with the team and hopefully continue to build off of that each and every session.
Hi, my name is Ashley McLean. My portion of the workshop is to tell you a little bit about the evaluation plan that we have for the training. So start out, I'll kind of tell you the purpose behind this evaluation. So the purpose of the evaluation plan is going to be to ensure that all adults that attend this workshop is left with a gained knowledge of what it takes to learn and educate in a healthier and more meaningful way. And what we're trying to do is just make sure that when you leave this workshop, you have a true knowledge of what we are trying to explain. So the evaluation is going to consist of a pre and post questionnaire. We're going to ask different scenarios on how you would handle different situations, which is what we did in the workshop, but we really want to make sure that you gain that knowledge throughout the workshop. You'll get the questionnaire before the workshop begins. You should have already completed this. And then another at the end of the workshop. This is going to allow both the trainer and the students to see how their perspective actually changed after attending the workshop. And this is going to show us how you actually gained knowledge and how your perspective changes after the workshop and you learn everything about this literacy. The evaluation is going to conclude with a survey. So you'll fill out a survey and ask for feedback on ways that we could help change the workshop, anything that we can do better, but also the things that were positive and what you really learned and gained and how the workshop was conducted in a way for you to have easy access to all the knowledge that you need. At the end of the workshop, we're going to compile the questionnaires and the surveys, and then this is going to allow us to be able to be successful moving forward with other workshops. Overall, this workshop is made to make sure that adults are able to use psychosocial and environmental literacies to adapt better in the ever-changing ways of the world. Adults are going to be able to use this education needed to succeed in living a more meaningful and impactful life. And it's going to be able to give adults the ability to control their mental stability and environment.